Hey folks, welcome back to Motoramblings. I'm Patrick. Today I'm riding Big Yellow, my 2010 Honda Goldwing. Absolutely beautiful early November day. It is 79 degrees here in West Asheville. I'm just out riding around, waiting for my son to get out of work, maybe ride with him. Probably gonna do a little bike night thing tonight. You know, his buddy Alex might even come along. His buddy Alex just bought a motorcycle and is absolutely thrilled with the whole motorcycle community, which I think is awesome. I've been working with him a little bit on his slow speed maneuvers, and it kind of brought me to a little bit of a question here. You know, I taught my son to ride, and I brought him to a parking lot, and everything. I mean, he had experience on a dirt bike like 10 years before he bought a motorcycle, and so he knew a little bit about the clutch and all that. He drives standard vehicles, straight drive, whatever you call them where you live, and so he knows the operation of a clutch and all that. So, you know, had a head start. But I actually brought him to a parking lot, and I worked with him on clutch control. The very first thing I did was I had him let that clutch out until he felt the bike start to move, and then pull it back in. And we did that a couple times. Then it was go as slow as you can. And you've seen the videos. Check out the playlist, Mitchell's Motorcycle Journey. You'll see a lot of it. We did a ton of slow speed practices with cones, and you know, it was a lot of fun. It was good for me too to go out there and do some of the practicing. Well, his buddy, who's 20 years old, just bought a motorcycle. Now, back it up just a tiny bit. There were conversations had with this kid, his name is Alex, before he bought a motorcycle. And I'll be perfectly honest, even though he's 20 years old, I told him that I just did not think he should get a sport bike. Don't do it, don't do it. I really wanted him to get something else, especially to learn on. And then if he wanted to get the sport bike, go ahead and do something like that. But, you know, 20 years old, he doesn't have a lot of extra income. So, you know, his thought was, well, I'm going to get the sport bike now. That way, when I do learn to ride, I know I'm going to want a sport bike, so I might as well just have it already. Yeah, I get it. It scares me because I'm just afraid when the young kids get together on the sport bikes. You know, I shouldn't say young kids. Whenever any of us get together on bikes, a lot of times the egos start jumping in it. Oh, I can go faster than you. I can do this. I can do that. And it scares me because I'm just afraid these young kids, Mitchell, Alex, people they hang out with on these other bikes, these other sport bikes and stuff, are going to want to just go fast. So it scares me. But anyway, aside from that, he went ahead and he got the sport bike. So Mitchell and I went and started working with him on the slow speed maneuvers. Big old parking lot. And I gotta tell you, this 20-year-old kid who'd never ridden a motorcycle before, he can handle the slow speed maneuvers. I was on my V-Strom, and he was handling some of the slow speed maneuvers easier than I was on the V-Strom. And I was like, what the heck? And so anyway, gone out for a couple of short rides with him, and you know, right now, of course, he's very sedate on the thing. You know, and that makes sense. You know, he's just learning. So the point of all this is, okay, so he's riding. I've worked with him. I've tried to teach him the slow speed stuff. I've talked his ear off about being safe. I've talked to he and Mitchell about finding the proper line, about not pushing it. Do not go and exceed your abilities. You know, all the same conversations I had with Mitchell before Alex got a bike. And with Mitchell, you know, he does amazing when he's with me. He rides a motorcycle like he's been doing it his whole life. But, as you know, he's dumped it broke his collarbone, you know, and I felt horrible for the kid, and I felt bad, and I think I had some guilt too, like, okay, I didn't teach him well enough to prevent him from having an accident. And I know that's just ridiculous. It makes no sense. I can't be with him 100% of the time. I can't control what he's doing. But as you know, I ride faster than I should. I push the bike a little bit. I've hit my limits, and I'm afraid, you know, he's learned to push his limits from me. But anyway, now Alex is learning to ride, and I'm trying to help him as much as I can. I'm coaching, trying to instill in him some of the stuff that I think all motorcycle riders need to have. Be aware, know your surroundings, head on a swivel, all that stuff when you're out on the street. I'm also trying to teach him how to control the motorcycle, be in charge of the motorcycle. As Robert Simmons says, be the boss of your motorcycle. But he told his father the other day, let me rephrase it. Alex told his father the other day that he bought a motorcycle. Now, Alex's father, I've met him a couple times. They used to live next door. He's a law enforcement official. Well, Alex told him, I bought a motorcycle, I'm learning to ride, I bought all the gear, etc., etc. And he also told his father that Mitchell's dad has been working with him, and I've been teaching him, etc., etc. And he told his dad that he's learned so much from Mitchell's dad. And his father says, same guy who taught Mitchell how to ride. And one, that irritates me, because Mitchell had an accident, and oh, okay, so I'm a bad teacher? Two, Mitchell had an accident and you're using that to get on your son? But three, and the more important one, is what happens if something happens to Alex? What happens if he wrecks? What are his parents? I mean, if it were you and you had a young son, young daughter, and they were learning to ride, just didn't even tell you that they were doing this, didn't tell you they bought a motorcycle, didn't tell you they were going to learn to ride. Now, Alex doesn't live with his parents, but he still didn't want to just, hey, mom, dad, I'm gonna go look at a motorcycle, because he knows his mom does not want him to ride. She's made it very clear. But if you were his parent, how would you feel about someone else working with him and trying to teach him how to ride? Would you be happy that, hey, somebody's working with him, he's not just going out there and learning from another 20-something-year-old? Would you be happy that a person with a ton of experience has taken some time to try to teach him and help him out? Or would you be mad and angry because you're thinking that this person, this older person, encouraged Alex to go buy a motorcycle? Would you be thinking that, I really wish he hadn't, you know, wouldn't have anything to do with Alex and getting a motorcycle, because I don't want Alex on a motorcycle? So I'm just curious, you know, what are your thoughts on your child learning to ride from someone who has experience, if you weren't a rider? Now, most of you are all riders. You would hopefully be the ones to teach your child how to ride. But if you're, try to imagine that you're not a rider, or put yourself in like your spouse's shoes if they don't ride. How would you feel? Would you be mad that somebody's quote unquote encouraging them to ride? Or would you be happy that someone's trying to help and try to keep them safe? and I probably shouldn't have phrased it like that. Let's just rephrase it like this. How would you feel if you found out your child was learning to do something that you think is super dangerous from someone else, an older person? Skydiving, for I don't know, just something that you think is too dangerous that you wouldn't want your child doing. Would you want them to learn from someone who's got a bunch of experience, or would you feel like that person's encouraging them to do something that you don't want them to do and it makes you angry? Boy, that was a long, convoluted way to get to the point there. Ay, ay, ay. Please leave it in the comments below what you think, because I don't know. I'd like to think that I'd be happy that someone's taken him under their wing to teach him, but I don't know if I would be mad. Hey, I don't want you taking my son under your wing to teach him to do that. Ay, ay, ay. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, consider it. I've got 2 different motorcycles, 2 different kinds of riding. Maybe you like either one or both. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope everyone can stay well, stay safe. Most of all, stay happy, y'all. Motoramblings out. See ya.